In this video, I will show you a very simple example of a coroutine and how it is being run by a loop. So we'll start with writing the example. We'll import Asyncio and we'll import time because our coroutine will be a very simple one which will print current time. Any coroutine function starts with async def. So that's what we write here, and we'll call it print now. Now let's introduce a counter here, and we'll run this, execute this 3 times, let's say. Let's print something here at the top of print now function. We'll sleep for 0 seconds and we'll print the time. Time now, time, seed time. And that's it. So basically we go through the loop 3 times. We print at the top of print now function, we sleep for 0 seconds, and then we just print the current time. Very simple. Now let's think, how can we run this? So let's suppose this would be a simple function, and the usual way you would run a simple function is just doing print now. Then would this work for an async def function, the one that is a coroutine? Let's see. So I'm using Python 3.8, as you can see, and I will run it like this. Okay, so what's here? There's a warning. Not only did we not see any of these prints that we expect when we run a function, but we also see a warning saying that our coroutine print now was never awaited. That's because running the print now like this won't actually execute the coroutine. The loop is the one that executes this coroutine. In this video, I won't be using an actual loop, but I'll be emulating its use. So how would I emulate a loop? What I would do is I will send to coroutine the none object, and that will basically execute this coroutine once. And you're gonna say, okay, so what does it mean actually executing this once? It means we'd go here, initialize I to 0, do this loop, run this 3 times, so which we should see print of this statement 3 times and print of this string 3 times, and sleep for 0 seconds each time. Well, let's see if this is true. So I'll run this again. And what do I see? I see only 1 print here. For some reason, this never happened. And this wasn't run 3 times. It just printed this and then it just exited. We don't see anything else. That's because whenever there's a cycle of a coroutine run, the coroutine will be suspended at any await in it. So we have an await here. That means that when we cycle 1 time, at the await we will suspend and return the control back to the loop so it could run some other coroutines instead. But when the coroutine gives control back to this when the loop gives control back to the coroutine will restart right after this await. So what comes after await? We see print here. So we should see a print here at least. But then what continues after that? We're inside the while loop again. I is still smaller than 3, so we should see this one. And we should again get suspended here, because coroutine gets suspended at each await. So okay, let's emulate another execution of the coroutine and see what happens. See, we printed the first one, we suspended, the execution got suspended, then we printed this, which is time now. Then we went here, the loop is still valid, so the condition is still valid, so we can print this one. But then we got to await, so we'll need to suspend again. Okay, what happens if we do another run? Okay, we run it. We did 3 cycles basically here, and we should see 2 times time now and 3 times this print statement, print call. That's because again we suspended here after the 3rd call here. Now I just realized I have a bug here. This will run forever. This will never end because we are not incrementing I. So I'm gonna add the condition here. Sorry about that. So we'll have I incrementing, meaning that at the 4th coroutine none, this condition should not be valid anymore. So let's see what happens then. So if this ends, I is not smaller anymore than 3 because we did it too many times. What will happen then? Potentially the function, like logically, the function should just exit. And that's what we would expect. But let's see what happens. See, we did the time now print at the end after the 4th cycle. So we got there was suspension here at the 3rd. Then we continued because we sent another none here. So we continued, we printed time now, we incremented I, which is now 3 because we have 4 rounds. So we started with 0. So we get here, this condition is not valid anymore. Then there's nothing else but exit. But for some reason we see here a stop iteration at the end. The stop iteration exception is raised at the end. And that happens anytime. That's a normal thing. It happens anytime coroutine is exiting. So when you're using a regular asyncio loop, this stop iteration will be caught. You won't see this. But when we emulate it with send, that's what you'll see. And you can always just do exception handling, stop iteration, and print we're done. That's it. It means we ran our coroutine. That's about it. It was a quick video on how a coroutine is being executed by a loop. Thank you for listening.